What's up everybody, Savage here, Brian here, and today I'm going to be doing another video. So today I'm going to be discussing about what Nintendo has said in an interview, which is pretty interesting, about what they say about 4K and virtual reality. So now let's read the article, which took place in France. If you look at VR headsets, I doubt they can appeal to the mainstream. Consumers are not patient with entertainment if you're not able to deliver an all-inclusive package. As far as 4K is concerned, is it useful to invest in a technology that has not been adopted by the majority? Where are 4K TVs now? Is it a good idea to invest in technology before consumers do? We can't invest in everything, and what novelty would we bring compared to our competitors? If we do the exact same thing than everyone else, we're bound to die because we are smaller than them. With the Switch, we offer different uses, adapted to players' pace of life. Its advantage is being able to fit into your daily life. So now, to tell you my opinions about what I think about what Nintendo said in this interview. So first, let's talk about VR on the Nintendo Switch and why they said no. I get why. Like, look at PlayStation VR. That user base is small compared to how many people who have a PS4, because there's like over 70 million people who have a PS4, and out of that, there's like over like 2 million people who use PSVR. So the PSVR people is a very small user base, like extremely small, and there's not like crazy amount of games that have been released for it. There's a good amount of games, but it's not like over like 500 games or whatever. So I'm guessing for like VR and stuff, Nintendo is just going to be waiting for people to actually be more interested in VR. And once there's a bigger user base for VR, they're then just going to have VR on their consoles because the user base is big enough and stuff. So yeah. So I understand why Nintendo would not have VR though. Like, it makes sense. The user base isn't big enough. But I still think they should have just brought VR to Nintendo Switch in a more like powerful Nintendo Switch or something. Maybe in the next console they'll bring VR then. So now let's talk about the 4K stuff that Nintendo was talking about in the interview about not having 4K on the Nintendo Switch in the future when they most probably will release a more powerful Nintendo Switch. So with the 4K, they don't want to do like what Microsoft and Sony has been doing, mostly Microsoft with the Xbox One X and stuff. They say they're not doing it because not as many people has a 4K TV. Sort of similar to how VR works and stuff, but there's more people who have 4K TVs than there are for VR and stuff. Like, I have a 4K TV, I would want a 4K Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo is holding back, even though it would actually be a problem if they release a 4K Nintendo Switch, because for people who don't have 4K TVs, they can still have a Nintendo Switch. So I think they should just release a 4K Nintendo Switch in the future. I think it's just salty that Nintendo is saying that. So like, what the heck? Like, Microsoft and Sony are doing and stuff. It would be great to have like a Nintendo Switch, a hybrid console to also do 4K graphics. Like, really, it doesn't matter that your competitors are doing it. You're not going all in and competing with them. Nintendo isn't at all. So I think they should just add like 4K and stuff. That could also help the Switch's sales. This is basically what Nintendo did with the Wii, basically. With Nintendo not moving to HD and stuff, like how Nintendo right now is not moving to 4K for salty reasons and stuff. But I think they could just wait and stuff. It's not going to cause a huge deal if they don't move to 4K right away. They could just wait like 2 years or whatever. Because with the Wii though, they made a bad mistake not making it like HD, like the Xbox 360 and PS3 that have 720p resolutions, when the Wii had 480p resolutions, so there's like a big gap in resolutions for the Wii and the two other consoles and stuff. So hopefully Nintendo doesn't make this mistake again when it comes to from the move to HD to 4K and stuff. I do understand why and stuff, but hopefully they do listen in the future when a ton of people have 4K TVs. And so once that happens, Nintendo must definitely move all the way to doing 4K and stuff. So yeah, that's just my opinion about what Nintendo said about 4K and VR and stuff, and why they're not doing it and stuff. So yeah, that's it for today. Savage here right now.